Welcome to 1999 MLS Year in Review. I'm Rob Stone. 1999 had a little bit of everything for the Major League Soccer fan. It began with the second-year Chicago Fire franchise looking to win back Cup glory, while DC United was hoping to reclaim the title for the third time in the league's four-year history. Some major U.S. international faces like Alexi Lawless, Eric Winalda, Tony Meola, and John Harkes found themselves donning new jerseys in '99, and the players weren't the only ones changing zip codes, as several big-name coaches took a ride on the old coaching carousel. The season started off smoking as Dallas's Jason Kreis put in an early bid for MVP honors as he netted himself a hat-trick in the season opener, and the Western Conference was as deep as it has ever been. Colorado steamrolled through the opposition at the beginning. Dallas burned the competition down the stretch. History was made in '99 as well, as Columbus unveiled the first ever soccer-specific stadium in the States, and staying in the Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay pulled off a stunner as they reacquired perennial all-star and Colombian international Carlos Valderrama. But perhaps the biggest personnel move came off the field, as the league named former NFL executive Don Garber as their new commissioner. We begin our '99 year in review in our nation's capital, where the proud black and red of DC United had to overcome some major personnel changes if they were to compete in their fourth straight MLS Cup. DC United began 1999 with MLS veteran coach Thomas Rongen filling the rather large shoes of Bruce Arena, who had made DC rich in MLS history before taking over the U.S. national team. And United continued their tradition, winning their first three.
Roy Lassiter is through. One-on-one. Lassiter to the net.
In their opener, DC overpowered Tampa 5-2. Roy Lassiter had a couple and Jaime Moreno had one. But the first goal of the season was from Carlos Llamosa, his only MLS netter.
DC United.
After three wins and contributions from established stars like Marco Echeverri, Ben Olsen, Eddie Pope, and keeper Tom Prestis, DC looked once again to be in control of the East. But with a rash of injuries and national team commitments, the easy times faded in April. On May 1st, United went into Chicago with a two-game losing streak. After two United players were sent off, DC battled back with determination beyond Rongen's expectation.
The attack again. Woods has crossed that ball with his left foot. Look at this. Lassiter scores!
Although the Fire prevailed 3-2, the tone for the season was set. A 7-game win streak followed as new faces stepped forward like Kerry Talley against Kansas City.
Into the net! Into the net! Into the net! On goal, DC United! It was a bullet.
Diego Senora picked a great time to score his only goal of the season to beat Columbus 1-0.
Into the net! Into the net! Oh, into the net! Senora!
And Jaime Moreno came up big with 2 goals against the Crew, while 4 starters were missing. A foreshadowing of DC's third straight division title came in early August when United battled the Crew and the conditions to go up 4-0 in their heated rivalry with the Crew and send Columbus home, still winless at RFK in 11 tries. Reserve lineups continue to be a recurring theme for DC, but while the bench turned in yeoman's work during an incredible 11-game midsummer streak, it was this year's team MVP, Moreno, that carried the load, racking up points in 9 of the 10 games he played. The Columbus Crew had to open up their season with an extended road trip while waiting for the finishing touches on their new home. But they turned that into a positive, winning 6 of 7.
The guys have a brand new 22,500 seat stadium at the end of the rainbow.
And on May 15th, the Crew were welcomed home by their loyal fans at the opening of MLS's first soccer-specific stadium. The soccer masterpiece, planned and financed by Columbus owner-investor Lamar Hunt, will have only one tenant: America's hardest working team. Jeff Cunningham scored the first goal in the new digs, needing just 10 minutes to write his name in the record books. And the 2-0 victory was the icing on the cake for a great soccer night, not only in Columbus, but in every soccer city in America. That inaugural game was only the beginning of Columbus Crew Stadium moments. In June, Stern John tied the game with just 3 seconds left to send San Jose to a shootout, which the Crew went on to win. By late July, the Crew had hit their stride, and it was the Caribbean connection that carried the load. On July 24th, Ansel Elcock, Jeff Cunningham, and Stern John all found the net against Dallas. Stern John continued to pour in the goals with the hat trick against the Fusion, one of his three-goal outings during the '99 campaign. With the Crew cruising to a second-place finish in the East, big news came out of the league office in September. Brian McBride, the #1 pick in the inaugural MLS draft, was signed to a new long-term contract and would remain the Crew's leader for years to come. Brian, never one to be unappreciative, responded with 2 goals and properly thanked the Crew faithful both times. With the league's top attendance, a crown jewel to play in, and a humble superstar, the Crew and their passionate 12th man were poised for the playoffs, a feat they have accomplished every year. The Tampa Bay Mutiny were busy on and off the field in 1999. A move into sparkling Raymond James Stadium and a retooled roster paid huge dividends on the field for the over 200,000 fans that checked out the Mutiny this season. And the crowds got what they came to see. Newly acquired netminder Scott Garlick, Raul Diaz-Arce, Steve Trittschuh, and the Chicago Three. Josh Keller, Richie Kachow, and Manny Lagos turned a struggling franchise into a winner, but nothing helped turn heads and a franchise around more dramatically than the early season return of Carlos Valderrama from Miami. Yes, the guy with the hair is back, declared MLS fans around the league, but defenders had little time to notice the do. Tampa now had one of the world's premier playmakers running the attack. The Mutiny had started 0-4, but El Pibe took over right away to start a 5-game win streak.
Wonderful goal. This is going to be a pleasure to look at and replay. This goal was built up from way back when.
It was Shannon again, the sniper who has... Here's Harris.
There were more brilliant moments ahead from the Newcomers Club. Scott Garlick proved to be among the MLS's elite netminders. Manny Lagos tied a franchise record with 6 points against the Fire in the form of 2 goals and 2 assists.
Together, Gorey gives it away. Lagos in again and punishes. Now Lagos. What a story it would be if he could net the hat trick, and he's in the mood. Leaving Dunseth for dead. Can he get past Burns? Mistake by Gorey. Valderrama! The Revolution defense ripped apart. And Valderrama enjoyed the moment.
Mid-season acquisition, Raul Diaz-Arce found the net twice in his first home game and tallied points in his first 3 Mutiny outings.
Still going, and Diaz-Arce! Perfect! It's the Diaz-Arce double in his first game back against the...
But don't get the impression the cupboard was completely bare before the trades. Mutiny vet Steve Ralston, the model of consistency, led the league with 18 assists.
Open is Ralston. He'll use them. First time shot. Touched in.
His deadly crosses were the perfect complement to Valderrama's central midfield attack.
For the goal. Tied at 3.
MLS's April Player of the Month, Musa Shannon, continued throughout the season to keep defenses off balance.
Musa Shannon, a brilliant run from the left side.
Perhaps the comeback win at DC with 2 goals in the last 7 minutes epitomized Tampa's 3rd place season. The Mutiny are back, and there's a lot more celebrating ahead in their future. The Miami Fusion were another club that used roster moves to improve, and head coach Ivo Wortman's evolving 11 finished 4th in the East. Rookie Jay Heaps went right to work in his first MLS game. Heaps' choice to join MLS over returning to the Duke basketball program for his senior year looked even better when he was named 99 MLS Rookie of the Year. Jeff Cassar played inspired soccer during his time in the Pipes, but injuries limited his play to just 15 games, which opened the door for another new face, MLS journeyman Garth Lagerwey, who provided solid relief. Welton, who came in a midseason trade with LA, ignored the fact that Miami struggled on the road this year and supplied his own 4th of July fireworks show at his former home, the Rose Bowl, in front of a disgruntled former teammate Mauricio Cienfuegos and 60,000 fans. Edwin Horter joined up from New England and immediately donned the captain's armband. This 83rd minute strike sank the Metro Stars in late July. By early August, Henry Gutierrez had taken over for departed Carlos Valderrama as the Fusion's emotional leader. The Cuban-American was already a fan favorite, but his contribution on the field grew as well, setting franchise assist records. When Miami's leading scorer, Diego Serna, was finished for the season prematurely with an August knee injury, hopes for the playoffs dimmed. But in the nick of time, Eric Winalda, who had been acquired earlier in a trade but not yet recovered from radical knee surgery, was cleared to play the last 6 games. And he turned darkness into light, securing a playoff spot with this October 9th goal versus Colorado. The New England Revolution may not have had a fast start in '99, but Giovanni Savarese certainly did, scoring the fastest goal in league history, just 22 seconds into his Revolution career.
Giovanni Savarese, less than 30 seconds into his Revolution debut.
Ivan McKinley supplied 2 goals in the Revs' first win ever at RFK against DC United to add a little excitement to the early season that was otherwise a struggle under player coach Walter Zenga. Another big win came in early June when the Revs hosted defending MLS champ Chicago. Joe Max Moore scored while McKinley had an assist and a goal.
The Revolution take the lead. Moore with the finish.
That momentum continued in their next match when Johnny Torres netted a pair to bring New England into a tie for 3rd place.
Call for Johnny Torres, and it's in! Just like that, Johnny Torres has done it again in the game against the Fusion.
Like many MLS cities, July 4th was a big day in Foxborough, and 29,000 gathered for a doubleheader. In addition to a Women's World Cup semifinal, fans witnessed a Joe Max Moore-led victory that kept the Revolution in the playoff hunt.
Back to the Revolution captain, that's where it goes. Joe Max Moore with a second.
September found the Revs still hanging on to playoff hopes, and 2 goals in the last 10 minutes against Kansas City helped. Savarese and Moore once again supplied the firepower.
Middle, slips through, chance for the goal, open net, shot, goal! Goal! 3 goals in a row for New England. They take the lead with 2:52 left.
And so the season went for New England, struggling to hang in for the final Eastern Conference playoff berth. In the last home game, newly acquired Jeff Fleischer pulled out a win to keep the Revs' hopes alive.
There's a rocket by Allen, and the Revolution take it 2-0.
Even though New England finished on a positive note with a win at DC on the last day of the regular season when John Hartz assisted Moore, it wasn't enough. A Miami victory later that day tempered their celebration and eliminated them from the playoffs. The Metro Stars entered the season with high hopes under the direction of legendary coach Bora Milutinovic in his first full season at the Meadowlands. Mike Petke helped the Metros get off to their fastest start in club history, winning the home opener in the 80th minute against Columbus. By mid-May, the losing had started. Mark Chung, one of Orr's off-season acquisitions, helped snap a losing streak May 15th with his first Metro Star goal in a 3-2 win against Miami. That was the last time the Metros saw 500 in '99.
Mark Chung breaks the Giant Stadium goal drought.
Mistakes and record-scoring droughts plagued the Metro Stars all season.
Turns, fires in the right. Middle for Myers. Sticking his foot in Sam Jordan box. Myers.
And Mike Petke's red card seemed a microcosm of the descent that follows a losing season.
Petke picks the ball up, and he may have said something to the referee. He kissed the ball, and I guess the referee took exception to the fact that, hey, Petke was showing him up. Petke gets a red card.
But there were glimmers of hope when three talented internationals, Henry Zambrano, Sasa Kurcic, and Mohamed Harkour arrived midsummer.
Now Zambrano, he's got behind right. Henry Zambrano gets it by Cannon and into the net. And Sammy crosses the river. And numbers in favor of the Metro Stars. Churchic with Akers in front of him. Corner of the 18. Churchic, Sasha cuts the left-footed shot. Deflects in the goal. Sasha Churchic. The Metro Stars take the lead.
But the addition that has MLS fans looking to the future in New York was announced in August when current German Football of the Year Lothar Matthäus was signed for next season.
I hope we have a little bit lucky and can win next year the American Soccer Championships.
The Los Angeles Galaxy season highlight started when former UCLA coach Ziggy Schmidt took the reins and revamped an anemic offense. In his first game as coach, Ziggy picked up a win thanks to Kevin Hartman's shutout, but there was more restructuring to be done on the offense.
Our job is to not give up goals. If the offense is struggling right now to get a couple goals, then so be it. Last year they gave us so many goals that there was no problems that way. You know, we didn't have to do as much defensively last year because we succeeded so much offensively. But this year we're taking up a little bit of the slack defensively, and we hope that we can continue to score and continue to grow as a team.
With 7 former Bruins familiar with Ziggy's attack, the final result was so balanced that LA became the only playoff qualifying team without a double-digit goal scorer. Kobe Jones led them with 8. As the Galaxy began to hit their stride in June, the big goals and big wins started to come. Carlos Hermosillo returned from playing commitments in Mexico. And Mauricio Cienfuegos' free kick bender with 7 seconds left beat DC United on the road.
Galaxy win it! 2-1! Mauricio Cienfuegos delighting the Salvadoran crowd on hand tonight.
Also in June, a modest trade turned out to be prolific for the Galaxy when Roy Myers came west and the Galaxy went on a 15-6 run. Myers' 6-game scoring stretch in June and July was the MLS's second longest of the year.
Roy Myers ties it!
But all the Galaxy's success wasn't imported during the season. Mainstays Kobe Jones, Mauricio Cienfuegos, Greg Vanny, and Robin Fraser all played their 100th Galaxy game during the '99 campaign. On the final day of the regular season, with the West already won, Kevin Hartman finished with an MLS record 11th shutout, and the Galaxy became the first Western Conference team to win 20 games in back-to-back seasons.
Take it right side, his call by a score of 1-0.
Ask the Dallas Bird what a red-hot striker will do for a team, and they will point to this year's 19-13 regular season record compared to a 500 record in the previous 3 years combined.
Price! 3-0!
Jason Price opened the Burn season with a hat trick in the opening game and stayed on fire, burning opponents for 18 goals and 15 assists.
Trick 4-0. Jason Price.
And if that wasn't enough, he was named Player of the Week a record 6 times. And on the other end of the pitch, the Burn mixed into the recipe a red-hot goalkeeper, Matt Jordan, who began the season for injured Mark Dodd with 3 consecutive shutouts. In fact, Jordan was so good, he kept the starting job when Dodd returned. Coach Dave Durr had other players on his veteran squad to count on as well. In early June, 4 different players found the net in a 5-2 romp of the Metro Stars to put Dallas briefly in first place.
And Sorber there as well. The battle with Price in the 18. Turns and shoots and scores. He celebrates with the backflip. And Dallas is up 3-1. As Brian Haynes on the far side for Dallas. A lot of room. Haynes the shot. It's now 5-1.
While hosting DC early on, the Burn began to realize that this season would be different. Never before had Dallas created such a home field advantage. And turning back United 3-0 seemed the turning point. Dallas would go on to post an incredible 13-3 regular season home record. Already successful, the Burn made a bold move at the August trading deadline, bringing in Ecuadorian international Ariel Graziani for Leonel Alvarez. And Graziani promptly scored in each of his first 4 games. And he can not only finish, but his speed was the Burn's final ingredient to the recipe.
Dallas is on the board. Graziani again gets it done for the Burn.
Confidence soared for Dallas as they learned to rally late, like the comeback win on October 3rd at Los Angeles. Down 2 goals at halftime, Price, Chad Deering, and Richard Fair crafted yet another comeback. On the final day of the regular season, the Burn clinched second place in the West with their 5th win in a row. A national television audience watched Price put away, at the very least, the scoring title with the game winner in the 82nd minute. How do you top an inaugural season where you, as an expansion team, not only win your league championship, but double that with the U.S. Open Cup title as well? Well, you can't. But after the rings were presented to the Chicago Fire at the home opener, the Fire looked like they could repeat last year's unlikely scenario.
Number 12, Ante Razov.
Ante Razov was the early catalyst with multiple goal games in Chicago's first 3 matches.
He scores. The game is tied. Just a little bit too easy for me that one, John.
Razov would score 14 goals this season, despite losing time to the U.S. national team and injuries.
Lost it for a moment. Now Razov strips and scores.
But Chicago's formula for success last year started with a commitment to defense. And the D, led by Lubos Kubik, gave up 30% fewer goals than the 1998 championship team. Kubik also repeated as the MLS's top scoring defender with 5 goals and 8 assists this season. Goalkeeper Zach Thornton gave up just about 1 goal a game, a statistical improvement over last year's award-winning season. And Polish international Peter Nowak carried the Fire in July with assists in 4 consecutive games.
For Chicago.
Trying to receive when it does on the wing.
Centers it nicely done. A shot and a goal.
The Fire even got some unexpected help from rising star Dima Kovalenko, who came on strong in August. Another Chicago moniker has been tough play, and suddenly, one day in August, Colorado got a taste of that when Jerry Podbrosny was sent off for dissent. Inspired by the ejection, the Fire erupted for 4 goals while playing a man down. Even though the Fire were unable to put together the lengthy winning streak that they accomplished last year, Chicago still finished a strong 3rd in the ultra-competitive Western Conference. The Colorado Rapids were a runaway river from the first day of the season. In the opener, Premier League vet Anders Limpar teamed with Panamanian striker Jorge Deli Valdez for the first time. And that combination would lead the Rapids to their best ever regular season record. By mid-May, Colorado could move mountains. Joey DiGiamarino's 12th minute goal in Chicago brought down the reigning MLS champions.
Taking the lead. Oh, did he crack that and just get it by Thornton? What a goal by Joey D. He's got 2 guys collapsing on him, touches it one way.
And Marcus Hahnemann held the Fire scoreless.
Marcus makes the save up for.
At the end of May, the Rapids had put together a team record 7-game win streak. By June, Deli Valdez was the talk of the league. His game winner against Chicago was his 3rd consecutive game-winning goal, and he ended up the season with 7 game winners overall.
Get the cellular and phone home, Jorge. 1-0 Colorado.
All eyes were on RFK Stadium as the All-Star break approached for the battle between the top team in the East and the West.
The break. Everyone is trailing him on D. DG shoots. DG scores. Colorado takes the lead. How about that? Here's Bent. Off-balance pass from Harris. Deli Valdez shot. Gets through Precious. He slams it home. The flag stays down.
After DiGiamarino and Deli Valdez were finished, the Rapids went to the break with an MLS best 12-3 record and a 9-point lead in the Western Conference. But in the season's second half, injuries, scoring droughts, and defensive lapses slowed the Rapids to a trickle.
Vogel trying to release Deli Valdez. Jorge.
Limpar scored his final goal of the season on July 25th before succumbing to injury, a huge blow to the offense. Ian Foyer took over the keeper duties when Marcus Hahnemann departed for the English First Division and recorded 8 shutouts, but the winning percentage just wasn't the same. Even though the Rapids were having trouble scoring, Deli Valdez still had some late-game heroics left in him. Like this August 13th netter with 21 seconds left to beat the Mutiny. But Colorado went 8-8 in the second half and fell from 1st to 4th place. Still good enough, though, to qualify for the postseason. The San Jose Clash started the season with 5 rookies. Jamie Clark, goalkeeper Joe Cannon, Scott Bauer, Jimmy Conrad, and Richard Mulrooney. As rookies, they were praying for the best. From the start, the young squad was at least consistent enough to take teams to the shootout and win them. By mid-April, the Clash were 4-1, with all 4 victories coming via the shootout.
For the 9th time this year.
But there was some experience on the squad. Eddie Lewis, who later in the season would play in his 100th San Jose game, led a comeback against Colorado in June with a goal for the ages. That game ended as a rare regulation win for San Jose.
For the 2nd week in a row.
The only rookie in MLS to play all 32 games was Mulrooney. And his comeback goal against Chicago tied the game, and guess what? Another shootout win.
Ronald Cerritos, Zach Thornton, yes sir!
As the summer wound down, Ronald Cerritos heated up. 4 goals,
and 4 assists in September won him Player of the Month honors.
Cerritos, they got 4.
The Clash finished strong, 8-3 in their last 11 games for a total of 19 wins. But since over half of their wins were in, you guessed it, the shootout, San Jose was short on points in the standings and failed to qualify for the playoffs.
It rolls by and finds the back of the net. Doyle.
But the future looks bright for San Jose. A new coach, Lothar Osiander, was picked to give this youthful team more guidance. And a name change to the Earthquakes. New colors and logo has Bay Area fans fired up about a new soccer identity for the millennium. The Wizards brighten the Kansas City skyline with the offseason addition of 2 of MLS's biggest stars, Alexi Lalas and Tony Meola. But the picture changed dramatically when Meola was injured in the preseason. Kansas City got off to a horrendous start, losing their first 7 games. Coach Ron Newman was out, and in came former U.S. national team coach Bob Gansler. In Gansler's first game, he somehow coached a win, but it certainly helped that Preki showed glimpses of his former league MVP flair. In fact, Preki was a bright spot in the first half of the season and was the MVP of the '99 All-Star Game. Chris Henderson played well on the wing for the Wizards. Just ask the Metro Stars about the 6-0 thrashing in June when Henderson was credited with 4 assists. None prettier than this one. A lift to the offense came in June with the arrival of Canadian national teamer Alex Bunbury. His skill immediately turned heads, and Bunbury seemed to make people around him better.
Goal! Alex Bunbury given too much space, and he makes the Metro stop.
Gansler opened the door of opportunity for Chris Klein, who started some games but was used mostly as a second-half weapon. Klein, with fresh legs, could take over a game, and in July, Tampa Bay saw it firsthand.
Oh, what a goal! From 35 yards out, he tucks it past Garlic with 4.
During tough times, coaches see who's tough. No one's tougher than Mo Johnson. The former team MVP was awarded that honor again this season and earned the award playing out of position, a move he made to help the team. There was no playoff picture in Kansas City with 8 wins this year, but there was pride, and no one carried themselves with more class than Alexi Lalas, who took the lumps until the last win of the season before hanging up his boots to pursue life outside of professional soccer. The 1999 All-Star Game was held in San Diego, California, and Qualcomm Stadium was treated to quite a show. Only 33 seconds into the match, and Roy Lassiter from DC United had already found net. But it was the West squad that took over from there with 4 unanswered goals. With his second goal to go with an assist, KC's Brecky secured MasterCard MVP honors for the day. But a 4-1 halftime lead soon disappeared as the East eventually knotted the score at 4. But the West was determined to get their first win, and San Jose defender Mauricio Wright got the game winner just moments later. San Jose teammate Ronald Cerritos added insurance, and the West got their first All-Star victory. At the end of the regular season, it was time to present the annual individual awards. Jason Price, who led the Dallas Burn to a club record 19 wins, was voted the 1999 Honda Most Valuable Player. Price scored or assisted on 33 of the Burn's 54 goals this year, involving himself in 61% of Dallas's offense. He also captured the Budweiser Scoring Championship, netting 18 goals and 15 assists for a total of 51 points. He also became MLS's first 15-goal, 15-assist man, and only the fourth MLS player to break the 50-point plateau. The big defender of the year went to LA Galaxy captain Robin Fraser. He led MLS's all-time stingiest defense, who allowed less than a goal per game. Fraser's been voted by his teammates as the Galaxy's top defender in each of the last 3 years. Another component of that record-setting Galaxy D was their netminder, Kevin Hartman, who took home Pepsi Goalkeeper of the Year. Kevin became the first MLS keeper to win 20 games in back-to-back seasons. He had an MLS record 11 shutouts, and he allowed only .91 goals per game while playing all but 10 minutes of the entire regular season. The All-Sport Coach of the Year was LA's Ziggy Schmidt, who led the Galaxy to a 17-9 record after taking the reins in late April. On the way to the Western Division title, Ziggy overtook Colorado, Dallas, and Chicago. Miami's Jay Heaps, the freshman leader in games and minutes played, was named MLS Rookie of the Year over some stiff competition.
Who scored the equalizer in Miami on the season opener that forced the shootout.
Jay left Duke University, where he also played basketball, a year early to make his immediate impact in MLS.
He scores! Fusion win!
The Snickers Fair Player Award is a two-part honor. Steve Ralston of the Tampa Bay Mutiny took home the individual award as the best sportsman on the field. Ralston received no red or yellow cards while leading MLS with 18 assists. The other half of the Snickers Fair Play Award goes to the team with the fewest caution points during the regular season. The Columbus Crew earned that distinction while becoming the first MLS team to go a full season without a single red card. To pick out the top goals in the 99 MLS regular season requires leaving out some very deserving candidates. And here's just a sampling from the regular season.
right into the middle, and all lining up for the corner was Albright. Now Echeverry steps into it and backheel by. Against Palacios. Gets by Arle Palacios. Shannon towards the 6-yard, off the post and in. Musa Shannon, a brilliant run from the left side. Got by Palacios.
Now the top 10, and we begin with Dallas's Chad Deering. At number 9, New England's Ivan McKinley.
Their midfield with Edwin Horta, their attacking playmaker, out. Kelderman now. McKinley! Into the net! Into the net!
Next up, Stern John's last-second thriller.
Seconds to play. West is after it. Right back to Stern John. He may have a shot at it. Stern John shoots. Oh, no! 3 seconds to play.
At number 7, Kansas City's Alex Bunbury. Colorado's Jorge Deli Valdez is at number 6.
On the turn, it's on his left, back to the right, dribbles into the box. Oh, an off-balance shot. He stutter steps it in for the 4th of the night.
League MVP Jason Christ checks in at number 5.
Jason Price, Duhaney trying to track back. And Sorber there as well. The battle with Price in the 18. Turns and shoots and scores.
At number 4, LA's Carlos Hermosillo and the rest of his mates.
Elliott, the dummy. Myers, great touch. Here's Hermosillo. Goal!
The next 3 goals were selected as finalists, and MLS fans had the opportunity to view moving video and vote on the MLS website, MLSnet.com. At number 3, Eddie Lewis of San Jose.
Depth touch. Nice shot. Near post. What a goal! What a
goal! Chicago's Ante Razov at number 2.
Chicago is pressing, Bill. This is a bit of a surprise, I think, for the Burn. And Razov fires and scores!
And for the second time in 4 years, the MasterCard Goal of the Year winner is Marco Echeverry of DC United. Now, if you thought those goals were impressive, wait till you check out some of the upcoming finishes from the '99 postseason. As the regular season was winding down, optimism for the league's long-term success was going up, and most of that due to new commissioner Don Garber, who seemed to have the Midas touch early on as he won back America's core soccer fans by closer aligning MLS to the international standards of play, chief amongst those changes, getting rid of the shootout. The league also spent some serious money to retain such young, international-level talents as Bolivia's Jaime Moreno, El Salvador's Ronald Cerritos, and the Stars and Stripes' Brian McBride, Chris Armas, and Jason Christ. 1999's MLS postseason had some interesting subplots to it. DC had to be the clear favorite in the East. In fact, at one point, they had an 11-game unbeaten streak. Columbus was a viable threat with the 2 seed, but they had never won at DC's RFK Stadium. And the defending champs from Chicago would be very hard-pressed to match their unbeaten run through last year's postseason, as they were a number 3 seed in the loaded Western Conference. Playoff format 99 for Major League Soccer, very simple. Top 4 teams in each division advance. Number 1 seed versus the 4 seed, 2 versus 3 in a best-of-3 format. One little interesting side note, never in the league's history the top seeds from both conferences converged at MLS Cup, but if it did happen this year, it would be a rematch of the inaugural MLS Cup held in 1996 between DC and LA, also held at Foxborough Stadium in Massachusetts. But before we get there, we have to begin with the Western Conference playoffs. Number 1 seed Los Angeles made short order of Colorado, sweeping the Rapids 3-0 and 2-0.
By Mathis to the right side, and a goal! Los Angeles didn't take long.
In a showcase of their incredible offensive balance, 5 different Galaxy players scored, while their engine room midfielder, Mauricio Cienfuegos, recorded assists in both matches. Kevin Hartman continued to play like the top keeper in MLS, which added to the frustration of the struggling Rapids offense. By the time the whistle sounded in Game 2, the Galaxy had helped the Rapids extend their scoreless streak to an MLS record 679 consecutive minutes. The other semifinal in the West was a 3-game affair. Hosting Chicago in Game 1 at the Cotton Bowl, Ariel Graziani was involved in both of Dallas's goals. The first after he chipped the ball to Oscar Pereira, who played the ball back to Graziani. Then later in the game, Graziani assisted on the game winner when he fed a streaking Mark Santel.
Santel comes to help and scores.
For the defending MLS champion Fire, it was their first playoff loss ever, having swept through last year's postseason in their first year. The Fire returned home for Game 2 and erupted for 4 goals in a 4-0 dismantling of the Burn. Dallas rookie keeper Matt Jordan was unsettled by the barrage Peter Novak and the Fire mounted. After 3 first-half goals, Jordan took a seat. Back at the Cotton Bowl, the Fire looked confident. They had shut down Dallas striker Jason Price, the league's leading scorer, and they had rattled their starting keeper enough to make Dallas head coach Dave Durr go with former starter and veteran Mark Dodd. The move caused some second-guessing early in the match when Chicago scored twice in the first 5 minutes. Lubos Kubik assisted on both Ante Razov's and Jesse Marsh's netters. A determined Burn squad mounted a second-half comeback. Captain Chad Deering headed Sergej Danic's cross in the 55th minute. Then C.J. Brown, who had kept Price bottled up all evening, finally made a mistake handling the ball in the box, and Jorge Rodriguez converted the penalty kick. And we were tied at 2 with just over 5 minutes to play. Coach Durr now looking pretty smart as Dodd held tight in the pipes, and second-half substitutes helped set up the winner to a streaking Graziani with only 4 minutes left. So Dallas advanced to face Los Angeles in the Western Finals. It was LA striking first in the 39th minute. Mauricio Cienfuegos, using the Southern California sun, lined up a free kick, decoyed the cross, and hooked it home. Dallas got yet another clutch goal from Graziani, and the Burns had a chance.
Goal! Goal! Tied at 1.
But with less than a minute remaining, Ezra Hendrickson ran the flank and stole the game with the deflected shot. Game 1 to the Galaxy. Back at Dallas for Game 2, Graziani and Carlos Hermosillo traded goals twice.
Your goal is 1-0. Dave splits the defense to Santel. Price is open. Back post header. Goal! He did it again. It's Graziani. Hermosillo against Jordan. Chips it over the Dallas keeper and in. And again it's Cienfuegos who set the stage. LA takes the lead in the set against Myers. Nice cut by the rookie. Santel picks up the loose ball. Loose back heel! Graziani! They call him the Joker, and now you see why.
This one went to a shootout, where Dallas survived to see yet another day, but it would be at the Rose Bowl, where they had lost 6 straight. Back home, LA had things their way. Just 3 minutes in, a Dallas handball brought about a penalty kick, and Greg Vanny converted to give LA the 1-0 lead. Hermosillo got his third goal in 2 games in the 20th minute when keeper Mark Dodd gave up a rebound. The Galaxy up front, 2-0.
Carlos Hermosillo! Hermosillo has put the Galaxy on top 2-0.
When Cienfuegos finished off Hendrickson's pass to make it 3-0, it was obvious that the Galaxy were headed to the MLS Cup for the second time as the Western Conference champion. Back in the East, DC United, the top seed, opened up with home field advantage against Miami. The Echeverri-Moreno combination proved deadly for the Fusion. On the first goal, Moreno scored while fellow Bolivian Echeverri had the assist, and later Moreno would put the game away. DC finished off the Fusion in Game 2 with a shootout win. And the game remembered for tight marking, good saves, and 2 red cards. Meanwhile, Columbus surprisingly had little trouble advancing past Tampa Bay with a pair of 2-0 victories. Stern John found net twice in Game 1. And his Caribbean mate, Jeff Cunningham, scored in the second. The Crew were primed to get after DC in the Eastern Final of a team that had ended their Cup dreams in each of the last 2 seasons. RFK was the side of the Eastern Finals, Game 1, where the Black and Red had never lost to the Crew, and Columbus knew it had to break that streak to advance, but in the 15th minute, Marco Echeverri served one up to Jaime Moreno. In the second half, Ben Olsen rushed onto a John Masner cross to add an insurance goal that later would become very valuable as DC held on to take Game 1 2-1. Columbus returned home with their proverbial backs to the wall, and my did they respond. Game 2, a complete domination by the Crew. Physical marking and aggressive attacks on the ball all over the pitch turned in huge dividends for the Crew. The Crew's Caribbean connection combined for 5 goals, handing DC their worst playoff loss ever. Stern John became only the second MLS player to record a playoff hat trick. After an incredible night, the Crew looks ready for anything DC could cook up in Game 3. A great rivalry had just gotten better. But Game 3 unfolded dramatically different. At Columbus, United had been taken out of their precision passing and possession game. But tonight, DC was sharp. Echeverri wore the game face all night and was attached to Moreno at the hip for goal number 1. More from El Diablo, the long ball to Lassiter, goal number 2. And then, as pretty as a goal you'll ever see, courtesy of Rocket Roy. Then Echeverri put an exclamation point on one of the clutchest soccer performances of all time.
Echeverri will take it himself and salt to the wounds. What a goal!
DC was headed for the MLS Cup for the 4th time in 4 years, where they'd face the LA Galaxy. So this year's MLS Cup was a rematch of the '96 season's championship, when DC United mounted a stirring 2-goal second-half comeback, setting the inaugural cup to golden goal overtime. In the 94th minute, Marco Echeverry's corner kick found Eddie Pope, who stunned the Galaxy with the header. And the usually reserved Pope then set off MLS's most famous celebration. Current LA starters, Kobe Jones, Mauricio Cienfuegos, Robin Fraser, and Greg Vanney were on the field, and remember, as did DC's Marco Echeverry, Jaime Moreno, Jeff Agus, Eddie Pope, and Richie Williams. The table was set, and the weather for the rematch was much friendlier. LA's attack penetrated first in the 3rd minute, but United's D foreshadowed what was to come for the Galaxy.
Deflected shot in front.
In the 5th minute, the game took a dramatic turn. Fighting for the ball, Roy Lassiter pushed Robin Fraser, who fell down hard and stayed down with a broken collarbone. Suddenly, the league's Defender of the Year was out of the mix. 10 minutes later, Marco Echeverry with the long throw-in. Chaos ensues, and Jaime Moreno gets it, tucks it home. 1-0 DC United. LA almost tied it in the 33rd minute when Danny Peña's header found the post, and the ricochet almost became an own goal, if not for Richie Williams. Another scary moment, Kevin Hartman, the violent collision with Moreno. Hartman seemed okay moments later, making this huge save off of an Agus rocket. The half was near, but there was still injury time to play, and Hartman made a fatal mistake. After he failed to clear a back pass efficiently, Lassiter applied pressure, and a Hartman miss hit allowed Ben Olsen to run onto the ball and hit the open net. 2-0 DC at the break. In the second half, LA tried to restore their balance that they had lost to the DC defenders. Carlos Yamosa had little gas left in his tank, but had a great stop there. Richie Williams pestered Mauricio Cienfuegos all day, even found time to crank one off the crossbar late. When Kobe Jones made one last run, while wrestling defenders, Prestis made his last play on the ball, and the end was near. 2 LA miscues had cost them the rematch. For DC's defense left no margin for error. And for the 3rd time in the league's 4-year history, the Beasts of the East reign as MLS champions.
Of the DC United, the Allen I. Rothenberg Trophy. Congratulations, team. You know, we wanted to come back from last year that we lost, and you know, I think we proved ourselves that we are the best team in the league.
I was trying to take it away from him. I really was. When he miskicked it, I was like, I didn't understand what he was doing. And then, you know, he tried to kick it away. Ball went to Ben, and he finished it. Now, you know, I was so happy, and you know, all I want to do is pressure. I think the pressure is what caused them to lose the ball, and we were able to finish the goal.
You know, after losing last year, we wanted to prove to the rest of the league that we're still, you know, the best team in the league, and that we're champions, and it's great.
You started the foundation of DC United, and you know, the organization, the president, the GMs, the coaches, you know, the teams, the fans. I mean, it's great for all of DC.
The MLS mission for the future has been written by DC United, who have clearly separated themselves from the pack. While the entire league has improved steadily over their 4 years of existence, teams must now focus on catching a dynasty.